Wendy Laster of Triple Crown Title Group. Wendy is the CEO of Triple Crown. Wendy, tell me a little bit about what you guys do here.
So sure, glad to do it. We are a real estate settlement company. We handle transactions, closings for buyers, for sellers, for refinancers, for people that are, let's see, what else do they want to do? 1031 exchanges, so people that don't know what those are, we can help with that. But yeah, we are the hub that makes it happen. So between our real estate agents, our lenders, we are the ones that the buyers are going to come talk to, sign papers, and literally sign on that dotted line.
So I'm a real estate agent and I know what I do and I know what the lender does. They help them get the money they need to be able to buy the house.
Mm-hmm.
But we desperately need you in order to be able to purchase or sell a house.
Yes.
What's the role that you guys play?
Okay, so we are going to make sure that your buyer, or probably your buyer is what we're going to be talking about, is getting good title to the property. And what that means is that they are going to be the real and legitimate owner of it.
Okay.
So there's a whole lot of backstory. That could be a 3-hour seminar on that. Nobody wants to hear all that because that's boring. Which is why I usually say that, we are the ones that make it sign on the dotted line, because the lender's not allowed to close it, the real estate agent's not allowed to close it. So we are that independent third party that's making sure that all of those pieces are met, that the lender is giving the money out and it's being used for the proper purpose of buying the house. We make sure the sellers get their money. We make sure everybody in the transaction gets paid, and most importantly, that the buyer gets that home and that they own it without maybe some IRS liens on there or some squatters claiming rights to it or things like that.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the settlement agent is really the unsung hero. I know you guys are doing so much work, but you're not necessarily the face that the new home buyer sees every day or talks to every day.
Which is good, because that means we're just behind the scenes.
Right.
Unless they have to deal with us, probably
That's
they're
how you know it's
happier
really
area.
smooth.
Exactly. It's when we have to make those calls every 3 hours that says, so sorry. Those are the ones we don't like to make. So the more we can be behind the scenes and literally just, facilitate the transaction, the better.
Okay, so I'm kind of glad that you started talking about those every 3-hour conversations. You've been doing this for how long?
Since the early 90s, so I'll say I initially got into it probably in about 95, right here in Newport News. In 97, in 95, only attorneys could do real estate settlements. It was completely captured by attorneys, which I happen to be one as well, but it was only attorneys. In 1997, the Virginia legislature changed it so that there could be what's called lay settlement companies, which is what we are. We are a title company, and that's literally all we do. So, we didn't have the attorneys that had to be off in court and things like that. We could just literally handle these settlements. And so, yeah, I was here before even lay settlement companies existed.
So back in the 90s, so that's a little while.
We're gonna say 30 plus years.
Yeah, so you've seen some things. What are some of the more memorable experiences you've had working on real estate transactions?
You want me to tell you the good stuff or the horror stories of why you really need title insurance?
I'm guessing we want the ugly stuff.
Okay, the ugly stuff. So we can do the dirty gritty here stuff. So most recently, we actually had a real estate agent who bought his very first investment property, probably about 15 years ago. And when we went to go refinance it here recently, found out that the deed transferring property to him was in theory signed by a dead person.
Interesting.
Yep. So the person had died, was listed, was in the land records. They had died. I'm making dates up a little bit here, but let's say in May of a particular year, and in December of that same year, there was a signature purporting to be that dead person.
Oh my.
Yep.
Okay.
So
have you had a happy ending? Or you're working on it?
Maybe we're working on it because he had not bought owner's title insurance because it was his very first transaction. It was a very inexpensive property.
Okay.
15 years ago, it's a very inexpensive property. Today's value, it's a lot more, and it's paid free and clear. Except we have a real problem because he may not own it.
Oh my gosh. So you mentioned title insurance. So talk to me about what is title insurance, and then I think you have a really great simplified way of explaining why we need it. So what is title insurance?
So title insurance, and it's sometimes easier to explain or define by telling you what it is and what it isn't. So what it is, it's similar to your homeowner's insurance. So you have to get homeowner's insurance when you're buying a piece of property. If you pay cash, you don't have to, but you really want to. So, but you're protecting against the future. So if your house burns down, if a tree falls on the roof, that's what you have your homeowner's insurance to pay for those risks. So you've transferred that risk to an insurance company that's willing to take the risk. For title insurance, we protect against the past. So when you buy your house right now today, you don't know what's happened over the previous, I'll say 10 years, 30 years. Honestly, Jamestown was founded in 1607, something like that. So literally, you are buying dirt that happens to have a house, the structure, the improvement on it. So title insurance protects against that past of the ownership of that plot of land or condo unit, whatever the case may be. So that's sort of what it is, it isn't. When you get to this point, you are either going to get, if you're getting a mortgage, like a lot of folks do, almost everybody, you are required to get a lender's title insurance policy. That protects the lender. They make you pay for it as part of the borrowing process. And that protects them. So if they have to foreclose on the property and take it back from you, they are guaranteed good title so that they can then sell it at a foreclosure sale or whatever the case may be. That does not benefit our homeowner whatsoever. Because as long as they're making their mortgage payment, if any problems crop up, that's the mortgage company that's protected. As long as the mortgage company is getting their monthly payment, they don't really care.
Right.
So the owner's title insurance, what that does, it protects the homeowner. So best case scenario, or best situation I came up with was just today, is unknown heirs. So if anywhere in the chain of title, and almost always there is somewhere anywhere, someone passed away, sometimes with a will, sometimes without a will. But easiest explanation anyways is if they didn't have a will. So we've got our good buddy Bob Smith, random name. He died in 1964, and you know, the property's been sold 3 times since then. He had a wife and 3 kids, and they all signed off on the deeds to, you know, the second buyer, the third buyer, and it's gone on down the chain. What nobody knew was he really did have a fling at some time in the 50s, and now all these DNA tests and stuff are coming out, putting our people, that are putting people in touch with other people. Some of those are starting to come out that people had children they may not have known they had. And so if that happens, in our situation with Bob Smith, my random person, if there was another child and if that child's interest wasn't accounted for in the sale of the property, well, now we can go up 5 buyers, 10 buyers, we can go up to 300, we can go 300 years from now. There is still that interest in favor of that child. It never goes away unless that child gets rid of it.
Right.
So
having title insurance
exactly
helps to protect you against those kinds of situations.
Yeah, so again, protecting against the past that you don't know about.
Yeah, and so a question that I often have when it comes to title insurance, I know that's not all you do, but I often get asked, do I need title insurance? And it's a one-time expense, isn't that right?
Yeah, your owner's title insurance.
Owner's title policy, total title insurance policy is just
one-time
expense that covers you for as long as you own that home.
And even after you sold it.
Even
you
after
you sold it 30 years ago, and one of my little DNA situations comes up, you are still protected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like
you just have to produce it. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think.
But yes, we do so much more than that, and frankly, those problems that arise that we do know about. So forget the Bob Smith situation where we didn't even know about it. Where we do know about it, people get IRS liens. You know, they didn't pay their taxes or things like that. All of our behind the scenes work is we're cleaning that stuff up so that when the buyer does buy the property, that those things have already been taken care of, resolved, not just a Band-Aid slapped on it, it's been fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation. I think you do a really good job of explaining what it is and why it's so important. If we can switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
I'd like to just hear a little bit about you because, so, you know, part of why I wanted to feature you is I know that you are not only a local small business, but you are a local. So you're from the area.
For the most part. So I was an Air Force brat. My daddy retired from Langley Air Force Base in the early 80s, and I've been here and called that home ever since. Originally born in Idaho, which some people say didn't even know there was a state out there somewhere, at least from Virginia anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, but I've claimed this area, the peninsula, as my home for forever pretty much. And yeah, never left. So I went to all the Hampton City school system, all the way, and graduated in Hampton High. Went to Christopher Newport. First year there was still Christopher Newport College. Of course, it's turned into a beautiful university at this point. And then went to Regent University for my law degree.
And why did you decide to start this business and go into real estate law?
Well, so I've always, pretty much I've always had a small business in some way or another. I had some early jobs. My earliest one in title was working for a national title insurance company. But since then, my husband and I owned a small delivery service before there was any emails or things like that to carry the papers around. And after that, went to law school and had my own private law firm. As part of that, I inherited, when my mentor passed away, some litigation practice. And quickly discovered that I'm not my forte in life, not what I really enjoy doing.
Okay.
And what I had developed was a real estate practice while I was there. It was something that I knew, having already been in the title insurance industry and learning about it. And when you go into a law firm and you're working there, law school never prepares you for how to find clients. I'm sure as in lots of other small businesses.
Yeah.
You learn how to do it, you know what to do. You just don't know how to always get that business. And so I had to create something, and real estate was something that they did very little of, and so it was an easy fill-in for me. So I started doing that, and then once I inherited, again, some of the litigation practice, and I was like, you know what, title company is just the way to go. I can shed some of the attorney stuff that I need to do, and primarily focus on my passion, which is real estate.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like people to know about you, your staff, or about Triple Crown Title Group?
Oh, let's see. That's usually the fun stuff that goes off camera. No, so really we try really hard. So we are, my business partner and myself, Julianne, we created this company. We didn't want to be nationwide. We didn't want to be all over the place. We like to keep it homegrown. We like to keep it local. So you will find us, the furthest we're going to travel is down to the south side, or certainly up to Newport. Newport's a beautiful area. It's my former home. So you're going to find us homegrown and local here, with absolutely an attention to detail, because you can't take that type A personality out of us. And so we try to bring the one-on-one attention to all of our clients and those that we serve. So we're going to talk to the real estate agents, we're going to talk to the lenders, we're going to talk to the clients themselves, and make sure, to the best of our abilities, they've got the best experience they can have.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, Wendy, thank you again for being here today. And again, this was Wendy Laster with Triple Crown Title Group, offices in both Newport News and in Chesapeake. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so here for all of your real estate settlement needs.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.